There is no greater love than the one that is born from hatred. Over its ashes of passion, vigorous and solid, the deep feeling races, positive and inverse, with the same intensity as the one of the negative charges from which it surged. Those words were pronounced by April while she cried disconsolately next to Joaquin's body, her partner. Their relation had always been tempestuous. Joaquin had made her life impossible while being her boss. Disdain and humiliation characterized his attitude toward the much younger April, in whom he would only recognize beauty and a student of music, a sound at which Joaquin didn't appreciate. Until the young girl couldn't bear it anymore and quitted him and her job when she needed it the most. A decade passed by without knowing about each other. During that time, she never forgot him. Her hatred was so rooted that she used to have nightmares when dreaming about him. Joaquin, for his part, during that period, had sporadic memories of her, always of disdain. One rainy afternoon, while Joaquin was being at ease taking a top bath after an arduous working day, a burst of memories crossed his mind, which recalled him a forgotten scene which he had never recreated again. April, with whom at the time had an emerging love affair, had stolen all the attention of the male personnel. With her kind-hearted look and her rare beauty, as she lifted an old woman after she suffered a strong fall. For Joaquin, that image had faded since the moment in which Luisa, at the time his brand new suitor, seduced him with her erotic charms and induced him to think the worst of April. The man suffered as by spell, an absolute alienation, and had no ears nor eyes but for Luisa, who after a while left him for a wealthier one. Ten years had passed by when he got that vision from the past, which immediately made him come to his senses and regret his bad behavior with April. Then he decided to diligently look for her, to apologize, and to get her back. Weeks, months, even a couple of years passed by of fruitless searching, until he finally found her by chance in a crowded shopping mall, in which she amazed the pedestrians as she executed with virtuous excellence Paganini's #1 violin concert. Joaquin suffered from Amusia, but he could perceive the energetic and agile movements of April, her dexterity, her ability with which he handled the instrument, and overall the astonished look of the crowd spectators, which spontaneously gathered around the violinist. Captivated by the beauty, skill, and charisma of April, and enthralled by the enraptured look of the mall's visitors, Joaquin was stupefied and determined to enjoy the improvised recital. Despite being unable to perceive the notes tone, the rhythm, the tempo intervals, and he only reduced his auditive perception to a horrible piercing shriek. At the end of the concert, Joaquin approached April, who accepted his invitation to have a coffee. The girl, still young, perceived the frankness and the genuine regretting Joaquin's eyes, and widely opened her heart, forgiving and forgetting the disdain she received. The reunion bore fruits. Love sprouted, renewed and vigorous. They cultivated a respectful and deep relationship, only interrupted by the frequent of the successful soloist, whose virtue with the violin fame grew day by day. Joaquin turned into a thriving businessman. He blended his happiness of winning beautiful and talented April's heart with enormous frustration, byproduct of his impotence of not being able to appreciate his partner's music, which caused such a fascination among her followers. At first, he went with her to her concerts, but the marvelous notes that one others appreciated and admired each time the girl held the violin were to Joaquin a kind of torment, a high and deep noise that tarnished his auditive perception. Until one day, when he abandoned the concert hall, he waited his beloved outside and confessed to her his inability to appreciate what she enjoyed the most and what had given her so much fame and renown. Little by little, Joaquin noticed that many valued musicians and renowned directors sought April. Several of them have turned into her suitors. They appreciated her out of her musical wisdom, something that Joaquin's Amusia prevented him, let alone reach, or even comprehend in its rudiments. One night in which April was going back home, while entering her bedroom, she broke into an inconsolable cry when finding Joaquin lying on the floor puddled with blood, with a gun next to his lifeless body, with a brief note: "I loved you madly, but I didn't stand my inability to appreciate your enormous talent. Sorry."